Still waiting to see if I'm popping up on the stream here. Dun dun dun. It says I'm live. Let's see what happens here. It says I am live. Let's see if I am really truly live, or if anything is really happening. Let's see. I see the logo, but I don't see anything in there. If you guys are seeing something that I'm not, can you just let me know that you're there? Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're there. Chanel, hey, Colette, glad to see that you made it. You're up late. Let's see here. Got Timothy. Hey, Tim, good to see you in here. I haven't seen you for a little while. There's Elizabeth. Hey, how are you? Denise, good to see you. There's Keena. I'm seeing people pop in. Hey, guys. Hey, Katie, how are you? We're just waiting on Dee to make it over. So I'm saying, yay, hey, Michelle. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, guys, do me a favor. Make sure to share this to your page. Let everybody know that we're on. We are here to do our thing. And it's a late show for us. We were actually at Dee's mom's birthday. We went to the movie Coco. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but this is the second time that we've seen it. And it's an education for me. It's really some interesting stuff about the afterlife, the Hispanic culture, and the way that they view things. And it's been an eye-opener for me. It's been really cool. Juniper, it's been forever. Hey, have not seen you in forever. It's good to see you. There's Tammy. Hey, cool. Tammy, I'm glad you can make it for a few before work. Henny, how are you? Let's see. I know, Juniper, it's been a really long time. There's Margaret in here. Kyle, love you. Love you back. And we got Dee rolling in. Hey, look at this. We're going to try to adjust ourselves so that you can see both of us. Hey, look, it's actually us. Hey, we're here, guys. We're here. Just saying hi to everybody.
Hi, guys.
Kind of telling them what's happening as we're getting started here. Had some weird technical issues. Weird, right?
Weird.
For us, how strange that goes. Just read some comments really quickly. Timothy says, I got to go to bed in a few minutes, but I'm staying for 20 more minutes.
Yay.
Yes, I haven't been on here in a while. Yeah, we missed you. We missed you, Tim. It's good that you made it. Chanel says, how is the pup doing, Moonie? So far, so good. I think, honestly, he had a bladder infection the last time we ran into this thing. I think that the vet down here was over-medicating him. They've given him, like, all sorts of vaccines that I just don't think he needs. So when I go back to Denver, I'm actually going to take Steven, we're going to take Steven over to my vet that I've had for years and have him checked out over there, make sure that he's getting what he needs. Should be okay.
Yup.
Tammy's watching us in her car. That's a good thing. Michelle says, Dee, hola, hope all is well. Hey, Colette, how you doing? Debbie just popped in. Hey, Moonie Dee.
Hi, Debbie.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. And again, if you don't mind sharing this to your wall, just let people know we're here. That would be absolutely awesome.
Sorry, I started a little late. I had to actually fix myself because, did you tell them?
I told them where we were, and for the second time in a few days, but for your mom's birthday.
Yeah, it was for me. Because everybody, I just want you to take this moment right now just to wish happy birthday to my mom, Mama Garcia. And I'd love to wish her a very happy birthday. We love you. We were just with her a little while ago, and we went to go see the movie Coco. We saw it for the second time. Mom hadn't seen it. And it makes me cry. It makes me cry a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a real, like I was saying, guys.
I just fixed my face because I was crying.
Yeah, it's a different look for me into kind of a different culture in the way that they view the afterlife, and it's really a good representation.
It is.
And it's cool. It's a tearjerker for sure. It really is. It's a cool thing. Let's see. Michelle says, I can stay up all night long. Well, Michelle can stay with us. We're going to be here for about an hour, so we'll stay with you for that long. Yeah, I know, guys. Sorry for the late start, but again, it was Mama Vika's birthday, so we decided we'd do the late thing. You know, family's everything, so we wanted to make sure that we were able to go to do birthday stuff and then do the show and hang out with our Box Talk family.
That's
too.
Right.
And make sure that we were here for you guys as well. Hey, Cheyenne. Glenda's here. Katie, happy birthday, Dee's mom. So that we're getting a lot of people.
Yay, thank you for wishing her happy birthday, guys. She'll be thrilled.
Michelle says, hi, Moonie Dee, glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Colette is up, and it's like, it's got to be 5 a.m. in the morning for Colette. She's so
Colette,
awesome.
we love you.
Out. So yeah, that's absolutely awesome. So yeah, guys, we wanted to kind of give you an idea about what we've got going on. We've got some interesting things coming up really quickly. We just wanted to tell you where you might be able to hang out with us. We are going to be out we're starting the drive, what day is it, Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, I think. Yeah, Tuesday we're actually starting to drive out to Northern California. We're going to be filming the official pilot for Ghostbox Chronicles, which we're hoping is going to do big things. But we're going out to Northern California to a couple of undisclosed locations. Wanted to announce to you guys something really cool that's happening because it's the first time we've really done something like this. I'm going to give you guys the night, but it's going to be coming up here pretty quickly. We'll announce it beforehand. But right here on Paranormal Warehouse, we're going to be doing a live investigation using all the equipment, including Ghostbox, several of the different Ghost boxes. Some of the classic ones you haven't even seen yet. So we're going to be going to a location. We're going to be doing a live investigation, and you guys are going to be a part of that investigation. You're going to be asking questions, giving suggestions. You're really going to be a part of the whole thing. So, Dee just wrecked everything. No, but it's going to be really cool because you guys are going to truly be involved with the Ghostbox Chronicles. And when this comes out, we're not going to be able to tell you the whole idea about how this is going to go, but it's going to be different than I think anything you've really ever seen before. So we're excited to take you guys along with us on an investigation. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then I want to make sure I get my dates right. I don't want to lie to you guys here, so let me make sure I've got this right. We are going to be then in Denver, Colorado on Saturday, February 3rd. At a place called Heaven's Sake. For Heaven's Sake, it's going to be a Saturday and Sunday event out there at the shop. Get in touch with me if you need to learn more information about that, but that's going to be our only Denver appearance for a little while. So you can catch us there. And for our box talkers, for the people that we love so much, I'll let you guys know too, we're also going to be in town for a few days after that as well.
That's right.
We're going to be hanging out there with Mama Moon and doing some work out there. So if you guys are interested in doing some readings with us or anything like that outside of that event, you can also do those readings with us as well. We'll also be continuing doing video and phone readings all around the world too.
That's right.
So that's going to be happening. And then on February 10th, you can see us at the Mason House Inn, Ghost Hunter University. That's in Bettonsport, Iowa. Again, go ahead and get in touch with me if you need any information on that one. Get in touch with Dee. She's not going to know what you're talking about, but probably get in touch with me on that one.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm joking. I'm messing with you. No, we're really excited. This is the first time Dee's going to be going out to the Mason House, and it's cool for me because this is like this is like introducing her to my second and third family, because Chuck and Joy are definitely family to me and all their families. So it's going to be really cool to have her out there for the first time. So if you guys want to meet us out in Iowa, that's going to be the place to come. And then we're basically going to be gone for a month. Then we're going to be traveling to Boston, Massachusetts from the 17th, from February 17th to the 20th, doing the NACN Nationals event, where we're going to basically pimp ourselves out, pull ourselves out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's disappointing. But yeah, it's going to be a busy month for us guys, but we're excited about all of it. So anyway, that's what's happening with that. Sorry, we're not trying to ignore anybody in here, but we did want to tell you.
Hi, Daniel's watching.
Hey, Dan,
what's up? Dan.
What's up, Dan?
What's up, Dan?
So yeah, we just wanted to say hey. And then, yeah, so that's basically what's going on with us. Dee and I have been talking a little bit about the show. And,
yes, we have.
And because it's kind of gotten out of control since October hit, the tour, the college tour hit, and everything's been kind of chaos since that moment. So we've been trying to pop on every once in a while, do box talk when we can. Hours have been varying and kind of crazy and stuff like that. And one thing that we had been talking about and noticing is that while we love coming on here and doing readings, everybody jumps in, hey, pull a card for me, do a quick reading for me.
And we love doing that.
Yeah,
we do.
That's kind of our charity time. That's kind of when we give back. We try to help everybody out.
Free readings, yeah.
For those who don't know, we that's what we do full time, is we do paid readings. So people contact us and book 20-minute, 30-minute sessions with cards, ghost box, dowsing rods, palm reading, whatever the case might be. And that's kind of our full-time job. But what we do is we like to come on here for all the awesome box talkers, and we try to answer a few questions for everybody. But that being said, the one thing that happened lately is we noticed that we kind of got away from our old format, which we really used to love, which was, we would kind of come in with a topic, a subject of some sort.
Yes.
And sometimes we would stick to the topic and talk about it all night. And sometimes we would start with the topic and completely lose it and go into something else. But for us, and I think for you guys too in the long run.
Especially those that have been with us since the beginning. I'm sure you all remember the way we started the show. We had the format, like, we would announce this week on Box Talk, the topic is going to be, getting in touch with your angel guides, and we would do a show and discuss, and kind of like a teaching moment that we teach how could you get in touch or better in tune, reaching out to your spirit guides, your angel guides. And then another one would sometimes be, synchronicities, and, what kind of synchronicities do you guys experience? And we would discuss that. And we had different topics. And then, throughout the show, sometimes towards the end, we would do a few readings, and then that would be the show.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we've been talking about trying to get back to more of our roots, because really what it comes down to is the box talkers, you guys, are the ones who drive the show no matter what, whether it's readings or otherwise. And something that used to be really fun was when we would come in with a topic, it kind of became like you guys would almost interview us.
Yeah,
and
that was cool.
We had so much fun kind of sharing what knowledge we have, going into some different things, and then learning from you guys too, because there's a lot of times where somebody will ask us a question and we're like, I have no idea, I've never heard that before. Mm-hmm. But one of our box talkers will jump into the chat room and say, oh, I actually know about that.
Yeah,
and it becomes
really
a whole discussion.
Cool. Yeah.
It's like a discussion kind of thing. So we definitely want to try to get back to that a little bit more. We don't want to get away from readings completely.
No, we don't want to get away from readings, but we would love to go back to our old format where we would be throughout the week be announcing what topic we were going to do on the show, and we'd stick to that topic or not, whatever. But either way, we'd come in with a topic, and then we'd do readings towards the end, answer a few questions here and there. And then sometimes we'd say, what, these past 2 weeks, it's been going great for us, so this coming show, it's just going to be a reading show. Remember, we used to do that. We used to say
it's like just giving back.
Yeah, it would be our way of giving back. And we'd say it's going to be a reading show, and it would. But then it kind of turned into like we dropped the topics, and we have a lot of people that have been like, I know on the Box Talk page, people have been messaging. We've received some messages saying, hey, when are you guys going to do the topics on the show again? And I said, you know what, that's true. Like that was the whole thing of Box Talk, and talking about different topics and things. So we kind of want to go back to the old format and stick to having a topic, and it's topics that they help everybody, whether we talk and teach you guys what are some ways and some, some advice we have to get in tune with your abilities, to get in touch with your spirit guides, to know, to be able to tell and notice synchronicities or signs, heavenly signs from your guides, things like that. Or sometimes we would talk about, theories in different types of spirits.
Yeah, and one of my favorite episodes that we did way back when, I still go back to this one, is when we did the Amityville episode. We had the synchronicity about Amityville. Both of us kind of were like, what are we going to do? Long story short, we're like, let's do Amityville. And we actually used the ghost box, turned it on, and reached out to the energies inside and around that location. And the EVPs that came through the ghost box live, and then going back and listening to it too, were fascinating, chilling, amazing, and it was like we were really doing a research project live on air.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I would love to get back to doing stuff like that too.
Yeah, where you put up the box and we research topics and we ask questions and things like that. That was really cool. So we kind of want to go back to our old format. And now that things are settling down, I think we'll be able to. We used to do the show, we used to do Box Talk on Wednesdays, and then Box Talk was Thursdays, and Box Talk News was on Wednesdays.
Right. And unfortunately, we're probably not going to have time to do 2 episodes anymore, so what we really want to do is kind of combine everything together.
Combine everything and say, like, 1 week we'll do just a topic, and next week maybe we'll...
Well, Savannah Martin says right here, she remembers that Amityville episode was crazy. We had people, just so you guys know, a lot of the times, like with the Amityville episode, with the stagecoach investigation, the live investigation we did, we have people that actually experience things in their own home.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just somebody saying, oh, I saw something or I felt something. People would actually send us video and audio evidence of the things that they were picking up while they were there. So, I think that that's a really interesting thing to do. I think it's a great way to experiment and really, we've kind of gotten past, as we always talk about, we've kind of gotten past the thing of are the spirits here? Knock twice if you're in the room with us. Now we want to learn what they have to say. So I think that since we've made that evolution now, it gives spirits the opportunity to communicate with us freely, and we can really learn from them on a consistent basis. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, I just have to say real quick, I want to say hi to Bernice. I know Bernice is in the chat room. So Bernice, I want to say hi. Thanks for joining. And she #pickles.
Oh.
So Dan's got Bernice on the pickles bandwagon.
I didn't know we were back to that. Dan, if you want a war.
Dan started the pickles things, and now everyone's hashtagging pickles, but that's fine. And Junie, I love you. She hashtagged cucumber.
Well, thank you, Junie. I like that you went to the origin of the pickle as opposed to the
Juniper. We love you. And
sorry.
yes, just real quick, I just want to say that everyone's in here talking about that episode was crazy. I want to say hi to Bernice. I want to say hi to everyone that's in here. Timothy's going to bed, so I want to say good night to Tim.
Good night, Tim. Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Get some sleep. I just want to say this really quickly. Two things I wanted to touch base on because this is awesome. Linda, talking about the Amityville one, she had to grab holy water. It got that bad.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was pretty intense. There is this is what I love. Okay, so Regina, you're coming in with the right message here because this is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Regina says, I have a question about sleep paralysis.
Okay.
Not sure if it's a spirit or not. All I know is it's scary as hell.
We can actually talk a little bit about that, about sleep paralysis. Okay,
let me start. Can I start with the scientific aspect of it?
Yes.
Okay. So there is two sides to sleep paralysis. There is the scientific diagnosed side. Basically, the reason that people experience sleep paralysis is because when we go into the REM state and we start to dream, what happens is our brain shuts down our body's ability to move, essentially, so we don't harm ourselves or harm others. Mm-hmm. Of course, that changes when they're sleepwalking, sleep talking, all those kind of things. But for the most part, our body's shutting down so that our mind doesn't make us go do these crazy things while we're off in dreamland. But what happens during the scientific aspect of sleep paralysis is that people will actually go into a semi-conscious state while they're still in the dream state. So they're kind of walking in both worlds. And what will happen is that they'll feel like they are wide awake, but they can't move. And they also report having a feeling of claustrophobia and a crushing sensation on the chest. Now, for the most part, that's the general reason for sleep paralysis, for that feeling of sleep paralysis. Mm-hmm. But there's also another side to it, which is called old hag syndrome. And I'll let you, do you want to go into that one a little bit?
Well, the old hag syndrome, actually, and some people believe it's the old hag, and it could just be several entities, but the old hag syndrome is that there's different ways to put it. It could be the old hag or there's, we call that, the succubus. And there's incubus, which is the male form of the entity that will go and do this to a female. But there's a succubus, which is a female entity that does this to the male. But what the story or the theory behind this is that this entity, the old hag, goes and pretty much sits on top of the person that's asleep and drains their energy. What ends up happening is the person feels paralyzed, much like sleep paralysis, and it's pretty much draining their energy because they need energy from somewhere in order to continue what it is that they do, terrorizing people, trying to it's a lower level entity that's not of the light at all. It's a lower level entity, and they're here to harm, basically. From their perspective, they don't see it that way. They just see it as they need to drain that energy in order to keep themselves going. And that's what happens there. Now, my question is always this, and I lean towards that yes, it has been proved scientifically what happens when you go, when the science of sleep, what ends up happening right before you fall asleep, and that does happen, that chemical gets released, and it so that you don't hurt yourself or anyone around you. But who's to say that these lower vibrational energies or entities don't use that to their advantage and say, okay, since this is what happens to them when they're sleeping, that's when they take their opportunity to come in and do what they do. So it's sort of like both working side by side. Because a lot of these experiences, there's this documentary on Netflix, and I think it's like one of the scariest documentaries ever, and it talks about sleep paralysis and talks about what happens during sleep and the experiences people have. And the crazy thing about this is that a lot of people experience the same thing. And these are people that don't know each other, don't talk to each other. They experience the same thing, seeing the same sort of shadow being at the end of their bed, at the foot of their bed, when they wake up and they're paralyzed, they can't move, they can't breathe. They experience the same choking sensation. And that's the old hag syndrome, right, where you feel like you can't breathe, you can't move, you open your eyes and you see this. It's almost like a dark just like a darkness hovering over you.
So a lot of people say it almost looks like a hooded figure.
A hooded figure, yeah, that's correct. So it's it's scary. It's scary, and I've always leaned towards yes. I do believe there's a scientific, because it's been proven. There's a scientific explanation, and it's been proven that's what happens in the brain. But I mean,
they mirror each other, but it's really not the same experience. And I think that's what happens with science a lot of the time, is that they give labels to things to make it fit into the box. I mean, we've talked about this before too, and guys, and this is something that absolutely drives me crazy, and I don't even know where you start to fix this problem. But there's a lot of people who have diagnosed psychological conditions, and I swear to you, on everything in my soul, so many of those people that have these conditions are literally damaged souls. They're people who are affected by paranormal activity. They're people that are affected by demonic possession. And they're categorized and medicated as a individual who has mental issues. So, I don't know if you guys have had experience with that, but it's terrifying to me to think that someone can be affected by something spiritual and then basically be locked away as an insane person. So.
And it's true, and like you said, they do mirror each other, but at the same time, who's to say that these lower vibrational energies don't use that to their advantage?
Oh, I'm sure they do. And what better than to have that person locked away,
exactly.
And then they can just feed on that.
Yeah, they feed on them as they're, as they've been diagnosed with this other problem. I mean, that's why a lot of times they see that as a weakness, and that's when they come in and, I mean, they're able to prey on the individual. They're able to, take advantage of that. So
I would hope that there would just be some kind of end to that. I do want to say really quickly, Lisa Romanek is in the chat room. Lisa, hi, sweetie. Prayers to you and Stan. For those who are unaware of the Stan Romanek case, I've worked with Stan for a long time. Please go check out his documentary. He had some charges brought against him which are completely false.
She has a good comment and question.
I'm going to mention that here in a second, but I just want to put out a statement that I know Stan, I know Lisa, and what is happening to them is absolute, it's a lie. It's a lie what's being put against them. Stan has experienced so much as a UFO experiencer. The government is trying to silence him in any way that they can, and they are doing the ultimate discrediting to him at this point with false accusations and convictions. So I want to publicly state my support for Stan and my knowledge of what's taking place. I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy when it comes down to it, but I'll tell you what's happening to Stan right now is complete BS. And if you guys get a chance, go and research that story, and you'll find out the real truth that's happened in that. So I just wanted to say that right off the bat. Love Lisa and Stan, they're good friends of mine. Lisa had a comment. She says, like an emotional vampire during waking times is exhausting, but you're awake and can fend off that entity or person. That's a question. What's your response to that?
Like an emotional vampire during waking times is exhausting, but you're awake and can fend off that entity or person. Oh, emotion. Yeah, well, I see what you're saying. There are people and even entities that are emotional vampires, like empathic. They usually, I guess, like psychic vampires, they feed off of your energy, off of your abilities, and they usually tend to find empathic people more.
Right.
That's what I've found in talking to different people and researching the subject, that they seem to be attracted more towards that empath, and they feed off. Can you fight off that entity or that person, that energy? Yes, you can. There's ways to protect yourself from that. There's ways to sort of fight that off. Especially if you know that you're prone to that. There's ways to do that, but it's not. These energy vampires are so, I don't want to say the word powerful, but effective at what they do.
Almost cunning.
Yeah, that it's almost difficult, but it is possible to protect yourself from that. There's ways. Maybe that should be another topic, protection from.
That'd be a good thing. We should definitely talk about that. I know angel numbers is popular right now too, so we should definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
Savannah Martin brought up a good point here. What about astral projection? I've done this once when I was younger and my parents saw me. Wow. When they followed me into the bedroom, I was passed out. Yeah, astral projection is it's an amazing thing, and I fully believe in it. I've done it several times. You have to be careful. And I know when we talk about some of this stuff, we sound very woo-woo. We sound very, metaphysical. But this is something that it's a real thing. And when it comes down to it, the one thing that I encourage people to do, if you're able to astral project, because there are certain people who can't, certain people who can't, I tell people it's very important that you keep the cord to your body. It's a conscious thought that has to happen. You have to keep some sort of cord, some sort of rope, however you envision it, you have to keep that tied to your body, because a lot of the times people who are in that state, it's almost like what people describe as a drug-induced state. It's, you're very much outside of yourself.
And you can see
Some people come back, some don't. But literally, it's your spirit energy leaving your body, or at least a portion of it leaving your body. And you can literally not just travel anywhere in the world, but you can travel anywhere in the universe. If you open up your mind, that's what that is. I really think that astral projection and remote viewing are very much the same. A lot of people don't tie those two things together, but I think that they're basically the same thing when it comes down to it. When remote viewers go and they look for specific locations or whatever the case might be, they're really doing the same thing. They're just keeping more of a grip on the body at that point. But I find it more effective if you actually do just allow yourself to project completely.
Yeah, and it's actually every living being, and one thing I've learned in research is that every living being does have the ability to astral project. Every living being has the ability to astral project. Not everyone remembers doing it, and not everyone has been able to control it, but every living being does have that ability to astral project. And I used to do it when I was younger, and I can still do it. But that should be a full show topic, astral projection. I think we should do that like really soon.
Yeah, I think
and also the topic of protection.
Yeah, I'd like to maybe bring some people on with us, maybe 2 or 3 guests per episode, where we just have them as experts come in who really are specifically involved in things
I know
like
somebody
that
I can bring for the astral projection episode.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, let's do that for
Yeah.
sure. And Lisa, also, if Stan is still doing any kind of interview work, I'd love to bring Stan on and talk about our
that'd be good.
experience together and his experiences in general. I think that'd be absolutely awesome. So if you could mention that to him, I'd really appreciate that. I was just going to read that one, actually.
Okay.
Wendy and Jenny's, what was the worst spiritual experience you've encountered, guys? I'm going to let you start with that one. I'm going to think about mine.
Oof. Okay. Well, I don't talk about this much outwardly, publicly. I do plan on writing my story about this down, but I know you know about this. But my worst spiritual experience was actually a possession that I experienced and survived when I was younger. It was scary going through it, knowing the days before it all just, hit the fan. Just knowing that there was something else around me, something else with me, something else controlling the way I thought and things, and reaching out to my mom. I guess it wasn't a full 100, because it wasn't. There was no way that it had taken over full 100%, because I was reaching out for help, telling my mom something's going on. I don't feel right. I feel there's something wrong here, and I ended up having to have an exorcism done on me. My mom was present. My sister was there. The pastor of the church was the one that went. I mean, this was done in a very different way from the way we've done when we've done exorcisms. We don't bring the religious aspect into it. But I mean, growing up, I grew up going to church with my mom, so this one was done that way, and it did take much longer, and it was very traumatic. I don't remember. I do remember some of it. I don't remember all of it. I just remember waking up like I had been hit by a truck. It was scary because of the things that I was experiencing leading up to that. Things that I would see, in my room, the shadow person that wouldn't leave. It was tormenting. It was really, really tormenting. Recently, I had another experience that happened with that entity when I was staying with my mom, and I was actually talking to Jack Canna on the phone, and I was explaining to him what had happened to me. And hours after I explained everything to him, what had happened to me, I was sitting, when I was having this phone conversation, I told you about it, he hit me. I was having this phone conversation with him and I was sitting in the room where it first happened to me. And after I hung up the phone with him, I was sitting there and I was feeling very weird about everything and how I had rehashed everything, and I'm sitting there and I felt like that same presence was there again, and I stopped and I was very quiet, and that same day was when the pipes burst in that same very room. And I remember I called Jack and I told him what happened. He's like, wow, oh my gosh, Denise, did that happen in that room? Do you realize there's a... So then he started sort of researching that with me, and that's something that sort of always stayed with me, and it was very scary, it was very traumatic, but I survived it, and that's why I think that I don't want to divulge too much, because like I said, I want to have that story come out and make that book, if you will, and but it was something that I survived, and I went through, and it was probably the scariest thing for me.
Yeah, and on the same subject, I've talked about it a lot. I've had several different occupations and possessions that I've dealt with through the years in doing this. I know a lot of people make light of that, and you're crazy for having these experiences, but I would tell anyone who genuinely has an experience like that, you're never going to forget it. It's just one of those things that changes your life, changes your soul, your whole energy. So I would say, obviously the possessions and occupations have been very intense, but then on the other side of it, I think, I always bring up my experiences with spirits, when actual spirits and demonic entities attack, and you're basically dealing with an energy source that you just can't defend against. It's not like you can fight a spirit. You just have to try to raise your energy enough to stop the attack from happening or limit the damage that takes place. But there's been quite a few. We can go into those for days.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then another scary spiritual experience is something that a lot of you witnessed yourselves already saw. What happened to me at the Stagecoach Inn was when you experience something negative like that touches you and sort of scratches you, that it stays with you guys. And when you hear them with your own ears, talk, and the EVPs and the scary things that they say, it stays with you. So that was another scary experience for me.
Right. The Stagecoach, and again, for those of you who don't know, we do the web series, the Ghost Box Chronicles, which that we just try to take an unedited look at what happens on investigations with myself, Dee, Mama Moon, the team, when we go out there, and you get to see live what happens over Facebook Live, and then we do the edited version back behind it. So yeah, it's pretty intense. I go back and watch the episodes sometimes, and it still blows me away, and I look at it and say, is this real life? It feels, it's like, am I really experiencing these things? Yeah, it's incredible. So
interesting question from Elizabeth Hunter. She says, would night terrors cause a person to have abilities later in life?
That is a good question. I've never heard it phrased like that before.
Cause to have abilities. I think if you're chosen, if you've been touched by that chosen, they choose you to have abilities, you're going to have abilities.
Right.
Everyone has a certain level of abilities. It's the people that develops in them later in life. Now, one thing I can say, the connection that, and I think I'm getting this as a message. Yeah, sort of like an answer from the guides telling me, and I know I'm not, like you say, it sounds real woo, but this is real. This is a message I'm hearing right now in my head. The connection between the night terrors is that when people experience things such as night terrors or things that are trying to visit them, cause them the hag syndrome or the sleeper, or anything that you experience that's spiritual, whether positive or negative, I think people that experience that are going to be people that are chosen to, if you will. The people, because not everyone, there's people that go through life and say, I've never experienced anything. Well, it's because you're not meant to. It's because, and that's okay, because you don't have that. So I don't think that it causes them to have abilities later in life. I just think that these are people that have been chosen to go through this, and so they go through this, they experience these things, and then they start to tap into that other side, and they realize, hey, I've got it. Usually if you're being visited or being communicated with, it's because you were meant to, have that ability.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Did I ramble?
No, you didn't ramble. It makes sense. It really does. Just letting you know, we got Marcy's in the chat room, Bill is in the chat room. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Box Talk. For those who don't know, I've had a few people pop in and say, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So our show is basically a paranormal / psychic podcast. We do psychic readings from time to time. We'll do paranormal discussion topics. Our listeners, we call our box talkers, are really the people who drive the show. You guys ask the questions and we put things out. This is kind of a free-for-all kind of show. We're just answering questions and kind of seeing what happens with this one. Next week, we will come in with a definite topic that we're going to discuss. We'll try to maybe even bring a couple of people on with us as guests.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
See, get some different perspectives.
That would
That's
be
always
cool.
fun to do too.
And I see a lot of people asking questions, like they want their questions. I mean, I guess we can do a few questions here and there.
Here and there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a few questions. This is it. We decided to come in. It's not a full reading show, but we will answer a few questions here and there. And I know I've got one person that said the last time that we didn't get to read her, so maybe we can get back to your question. We'll try. Amanda Banta says, "Hi, Moonie Dee from Iowa. When I was little, my native friend had an old spell book. We would say them in the mirror and other things. Is it possible something has stayed with me that long?" Yes, I can just tell you right now. Do you feel anything?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's why I said it right away. Yes, it is possible something stayed. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't say possible. I'm telling you right now that something has stayed with you this whole time.
Yeah.
Since then, something has stayed with you, and I don't know if now. Okay, it's always possible to get rid of it, but I just think it's with you now as a part of you.
Yeah, it's almost like the energy has adapted and really almost melded with you in a way. You carry it with you, and I do feel. Okay, you said native, but I don't get anything to do with native religion. I'm getting something more along the lines of maybe an elemental, something that's much older and stronger. That came through, took advantage of the situation, but I don't see it as negative. I just see it as something that stays with you on a consistent basis. One thing, I obviously don't know you, but one thing I would say is that your emotions charge whatever this entity is, and sometimes I get the impression that you feel that you lose control of your emotions. I think that this is really the energy that's with you more so than you. I would, as weird as this sounds, I would have a heart-to-heart with this being and try to identify who they are and why they're with you. I think it's important.
You want to touch on this one? Tracy DeMario Martino says, My mom said a psychic said the angel numbers I see are bad, telling me not to do something that I am doing.
Okay, well, Tracy, we would need to know what those numbers are to understand that. But with angel numbers, I don't think there's ever an angel number that comes up with a negative meaning.
No.
If you're seeing the synchronicity sign, it usually means that you're either moving in the right direction or
take that change that you're supposed to change.
They're trying to get you going the right way.
Now, if the angel number that you've been seeing, it sounds to me like you're trying to say that it's telling you to go with the change that you want to go with. If that's what the angel number is telling you to do, if that's the one you're seeing, then you do that. When your angel guides send you that sign, like go with that change that you're contemplating, you need to do it, because that's why they're sending you that sign. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that there's going to be a shift in your life, and it's divinely guided.
She's saying right here, 444-555-333. Those are all positive.
Those are all positive.
The 333 is a complete manifestation number. That means that the Ascended Masters, the Archangels, are there listening to your request. It's almost like, and I'm not trying to make this light of this, but it's almost like a genie is ready to grant your wish.
It's true.
That they're there. Ask us what you want, and we'll take care of it for you. But remember,
you shall receive.
There's always an exchange for that. Okay, so if you're going to receive from the universe, you have to give something back to the universe, and it's really important that you know that, because if you're not giving back on a consistent basis, your requests will fall on deaf ears over time. But you are in a place right now of change. The
444 means that you're vibrating in synchronicity with the universe, and that everything that's happening is what's supposed to be happening to you. 555 means that you're going through a change, but the change you're going through is right. It's meant for you, so keep going with that change. That's what 555 means. 444 means that everything that's happening around you is what's supposed to be happening. You're on the right path. You're vibrating in synchronicity with the universe. 333 is pretty much ask and you shall receive, but you have to do it with pure intent and with the intention of giving back. So that's, I mean, we can do a whole show on angel numbers
for sure.
And sort of like a class. And that's one thing we want to start offering. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Offering is like online class thing, like where we'll make a group chat or something.
Yeah, we'll charge
nominal
fee.
Have
everybody come in and do a class. That would be really cool. But I wanted to say, Amanda, the reading we just did a second ago, or the message we answered says, "Wow, I'm speechless, unbelievable. I'm so appreciative of you so very much. It's something I felt also, so right about the emotions. Wow, Moonie and Dee, I'm blown away tonight." Glad we could do that for you, Amanda. Yeah, it's just, sometimes we get the messages, and that's what we do. Chula, don't trip. I love that, by the way. What about 1111? 1111 is pure synchronicity. That means that you are on, and this is my opinion on the number, it means you're on the right path, you're moving in the right direction.
But it also means it's an awakening.
It's an awakening.
You're experiencing an awakening, but you're on the right path.
But I see it as deja vu. I see it very much as that moment of, aha, that you're where you need to be. So take advantage of that when it happens, okay?
That's correct.
Ted is hanging out with us, Ted Van Son.
Hi, Teddy.
Ted, want to say once again, sorry we could not make your event last weekend, but we heard it was a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to doing things with you in the future. Sorry about our illness, but we will be there next time. You can count on us. Let's see here. Just jumping around. Amy, Andrew says, my friend committed suicide 4 years ago today. I think of her a lot. Is there anything you can tell me? Let's see, Amy Signoretto Andrews. Are you picking anything up on that?
Can you read that again?
She says her friend committed suicide 4 years ago today. She thinks of her a lot. Is there anything you can tell me? Like any messages she's trying to pass on? And I'm coming up completely blank on that one. I didn't get anything for that right away. I don't know about you.
4 years ago today, any messages from her? The only thing I'm getting is that I don't know if her friend knows where she's at.
Trying to reach her? Yeah, so what I would do, if you're thinking about her a lot, sometimes it's good to just have that vocal conversation. And it seems weird, I know, to sit in a room or whatever and just talk to the walls. But sometimes you can reach out to energies very easily that way and say, hey, I need to speak to you. Call them out by name. Try to bring them in. And you'll start receiving messages a little bit easier that way. And then, of course, I always talk about the dream method. As you're going to sleep at night, just before you're falling asleep, just repeat the same question to that individual over and over and over again. And you can usually get a good communication that way as well.
Cheyenne, our friend Cheyenne, we love you, Cheyenne. She's been asking if Noah has any abilities.
I saw that one earlier.
Yeah, and what I get with that, I don't know if you would agree with me, what I get with this premonitions. Premonitions big.
Like clairvisual.
Yes.
Clairvisual, but definitely almost prophetic.
Yeah.
Here's the frustrating thing about that one, and I hope I'm wrong about this one, but I get the impression you're going to see a lot before it happens, but I don't feel it's going to be able to control many of those situations.
It's going to be frustrating for him.
Yeah, because
that's the way your mom gets
my
frustrated.
mom gets that too.
Oh my gosh, Mama Moon, she always knows when something's going to happen. And then there's nothing she can do, and it frustrates her.
Yeah, and I kind of get that same feeling. I'd be interested in working with him when he gets a little bit older and see if we can maybe get him past that frustration point. I want to jump to Shelia Yinger Miller. My 8-year-old granddaughter is communicating with spirits and is very confused on what she's seeing and feeling. Any advice? Okay. And this is coming from two people who have lived exactly this right now. We both were communicating with spirits at a very young age and having these experiences. And I have to tell you, the first thing right off the bat is that there's going to be a high level of frustration that comes in that situation. You're going to have frustration, you're going to have fear, and ridicule. And those are the three things that will absolutely destroy the psyche of a medium. You have to, I'm not trying to tell you how to do this, but I would encourage you to really listen to what she has to say. Take all that information in and make her feel very normal about it. Don't make it a strange thing, a weird thing, and also on the other side of it, don't make it something phenomenal. Don't make it that's some amazing thing and she's gifted and blessed and things along those lines, because a lot of kids don't have any capacity to really deal with any of that. So the most important thing is to make them feel normal, and this is just a part of their life. Now, she will have the ability, and I do believe she is communicating with spirit. I feel the open door policy right now. I know it seems strange. when I say the open door policy, I think she's getting many. I don't feel that there's just a couple of individuals. I feel like they're all coming to her, seeing the beacon light around her, and I feel that they're drawn in. And I think it's getting to a point where sometimes it gets past the fascination, it gets into a fear situation with her. And there's a couple that are coming in that I don't necessarily feel are going to be beneficial. So again, I know I'm rambling, but open the dialogue with her. Find out what she's experiencing, and if there's ever an issue, you can always reach out to us, and we can always recommend different tools, grounding, protections, and we also speak to a lot of kids. A lot of parents and grandparents bring their kids to us.
One of the things that I think would be beneficial to people that are looking for something like that is the crystal readings that I do. The crystal readings will sort of tell you which crystals would work best for, certain situations, or for you yourself, like your energy would work best with certain crystals. I've done a couple of those, and it's helped a lot of people. So
yeah, absolutely. And we kind of offer a counseling service to work with kids because there were some TV shows out there for a while that apparently supposedly helped kids deal with their psychic abilities, but I'm not a big believer in that. I really think that these kids need to be, told that it's okay and kind of push them in the right direction. So we're always open to that, guys. If you ever need us to jump in there and help out, we're happy to do it.
Somebody asked in there why they were seeing 222. I just want to say 222 it's a powerful number. When you see it 222, 222 tripled like that, it has to usually do with balance, the balance around you. It's reminding you that you need to take a balanced approach in all aspects of your life. It's letting you know that you're vibrating in synchronicity. And what's the other one? Take a balanced approach in all aspects of your life. It's not like the 333 asking you shall receive, but it sort of leads into that. It's telling you to take a balanced approach and to keep the faith. Keep the faith is what it's telling you. If your faith is sort of faltering, keep the faith. Everything's going to turn out the way it's supposed to. It's telling you that things only happen for a reason. There are no coincidences. That's that reminder. It's reminding you there's no coincidence. Everything that you're going through is you're going through it for a reason. Stay balanced. Stay balanced. That's what that's about. It's about manifestation, balance, and harmony. That's what that number's about.
So I wanted to go ahead and also say, because Bernice was funny when she said this, it says, Dan said you are excellent at egg readings.
Thank you. I am excellent at egg readings. I like that.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Steve, Sneaky Steve, hey buddy. Sherry, we all give you positive energy and pray for better health. That's what I love about our box talkers. Guys, I'm telling you, this is like one of the greatest communities of people that I've ever experienced. When it comes down to it, all of our listeners, our box talkers, really are willing, most of them at least I should say, are willing to help you out. If we're not able to answer a question, you'll find out that they will. We have had prayer chains and energy chains and all sorts of things that have gone through this group and have really benefited a lot of people. So we just, that's kind of what we're all about. Our hashtag is no darkness allowed. That's the biggest thing. If we see a hater come popping in, everybody at once will start popping up the hearts. And we just, we don't feed the negative energy. It's all about positive and helping and trying to do the right thing. So, that's kind of what we're all about.
I want to read this one real quick. Amber Jean Marie Gallagher says, please read. I've tried to reach out 3 times. Are there any messages from my grandmother who passed away suddenly? My mom misses her so much. Any messages from her to either of us?
Sorry. Stephen has heard something. Sorry, that's our psychic dog in training here. Apologize, guys. Let's see here. I am not picking anything up on that. I apologize.
Any messages from my grandmother who passed away suddenly? Sir Amber Jean Marie Gallagher.
Passed suddenly. Any messages for her to either of us? That is so strange. I'm just not really getting any message coming through.
I do get the message that, I don't know why I'm getting this, and I think and it's not because of what I just said, but I almost feel like it happened that way for a reason, like you needed to hear what I said about 222. hold on, I don't know if this will resonate or this makes sense to you, but I feel like she needed to hear what I said about the 222, about being balanced, being in harmony, and how everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. I think they've been really struggling with what happened with the grandmother and the message, and it's not so much coming from her, it's coming from their guides, that everything happened the way it was supposed to happen that way, okay? I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, but it was supposed to happen the way it happened. She's where she's supposed to be, and she's okay.
Yeah, she's very much entrenched on the other side.
She is. I get that. Like, it hit me.
And most of the time I feel like when people ask, is there any messages or anything like that, they're kind of waiting there to pass something on. I feel like she's very much entrenched, busy, working on things for her over there right now. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's something that she was missing here or something that she wanted to improve, but I feel like that's really where her time is being wrapped up right now. I really do feel that.
Tammy Williams Denton, and I need to say this real quick. It's a quick, she says, I go on a second interview tomorrow. Should I take the job or stay where I am? I see the word change with you, so I really think that you need to, if it's not this one, it's going to be another one, but I think very soon you're going to be changing, and it's the right move for you.
Definitely.
Okay?
Definitely.
So just keep that in mind, please.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes sense. Let's see here. Oh, your mom is in here.
Hi, Mommy. Everybody say happy birthday to my mom.
Happy
my
birthday.
Mom's in there. My mommy, Maria Garcia, that's her. Mama Garcia. So she said hello to all. So guys, say happy birthday to my mommy. It's her birthday. We were with her today. And yeah. Here we go. Love you, Mom.
Love you, love you. Let's see here. Okay, well, we have about 4 minutes left in the show right now. So I think next week, as we talked about before, we're going to go ahead and get into subjects, topics, something real specific, and try to answer as many questions as we possibly can on that. We're going to also probably bring on maybe a guest, an expert who can come in here and talk to us a little bit more about it and share some thoughts outside of what we have to say.
What's the topic for next week?
Next week, I think it's really important that we go into angel numbers next week.
Yes.
I think that that's something that's really big for everybody.
And that's my forte, is angel numbers.
So we can definitely do that.
I dropped something.
It's okay. We'll definitely get into the angel numbers. Like I said, we'll try to maybe bring somebody else on with a different perspective, and we can go ahead and talk and have a discussion about those kind of things and go from there. But yeah, we want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Remember once again that you can book a reading with myself, Dee, Mama Moon. If you go to chrismanpsychic.com, you can just go book. It says book now, right? That's the
do we want to tell them right now? Those that are in there, you lucky few that are still in there with us. Should we tell them about this week's
Sure,
special?
we're going to do a Facebook Live tomorrow about it. We'll kind of give you guys...
Yeah, you guys will be the first to hear our psychic special for this week. Go ahead, baby.
So
tell them.
all the way through Sunday of this week, if you book a reading, basically just book a reading. You don't have to do the reading within this time. But if you book a reading from right now through Sunday, Sunday, if you book that, we are giving everybody 20% off every single reading that we're doing. So
20% off. That's huge, guys. So if you want a reading, you can. If you want to do a reading with me by myself, a reading with Moonie by himself, or the double, we're gonna take, and even the palm readings, right? Even that one,
palm readings. Mama Moon's doing her readings, but it's 20% off all those readings. And like I said, a lot of people get confused. Say, well, I don't want to do it right now, or I'd like to do the deal, but I don't have time for that. But what this is if you purchase the reading now, you can do it a year from now, should that be the case. So definitely get in touch with us. Just message us through our fan page. If you guys aren't fans already, go to Box Talk with Moonie Dee fan page on Facebook. Like us, follow us, do all that kind of stuff. You can message us directly through there, or you can always get us on our private accounts too. Either way works, but that's the way we've been going lately.
But I'm excited for next week because I'm really, guys, I'm so excited to be able to get back to our original format, to the way the show, the way it was like that for the longest time. And it was like, I think in like September, October, we got away from that. And I miss doing the topics because that's one thing that everybody loved doing the show. They'd come in, they'd listen to our topic, they'd learn something. We would all learn something together because sometimes we'd even learn from them. They'd come in and say, this is what I've heard, this is what I researched, and it was just a huge discussion, and it was great, it was awesome, and I'm really excited. I think next week we'll do angel numbers, right? Yep. Great idea that I just had.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. You just You just came up with that all.
I just came up with that all by myself.
So yeah, so
it's a great idea.
So everybody,
what would you do without me?
I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'd do without her. She comes up with all these awesome ideas. I don't know.
I do.
It'd be a lot.
So next week we'll do we'll do angel numbers next week. Yay!
Yay.
And here's what I'm gonna add.
Okay.
I didn't even check with you, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Okay, go
Even
ahead.
though I should probably check with you because Moon owns Dee.
Yes.
So next week after we do the show, the topic will be angel numbers, and we'll do that. What I'm going to go ahead and do for you guys, because we didn't do much, we'll go ahead towards the end, answer a few questions, but I'll pull out the cards, and I'll be pulling angel cards for them, or butterfly cards, or both.
Yeah, that'd be a good tie-in. So we'll do that all together. But do us a favor, guys. We'll be back regular time next week. So spread the word, tell your friends, and hopefully we'll see you guys and all of your people back here for another episode of Box Talk next week. So
Sweet.
I'm gonna say, love you guys.
Smile, and remember to make someone else smile too. Love you guys. Thanks for joining, guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.